We would never go back to using tape measures and graph paper and drafting by hand to do as-builts ever again. It's just not worth it. Even for small projects, it's inevitable that projects will creep and the scope will creep and get bigger. And by doing the scanning once, you again don't have to go back and add more information by hand. It's just completely not worth it. And the fact that it can seamlessly integrate with Revit is fantastic.
My name's Chris Gray. I'm one of the owners and architects at Building Collective.
My name's Steve Peirce. I'm one of the architects and owners of Building Collective Architecture and Design here in Boulder.
We're a design firm focused primarily on residential projects, and we do major remodel and additions as well as new construction projects.
We're fairly small. We've got 3 to 4 of us total, kind of depending on the project load.
Our projects primarily are based in Boulder, and a lot of them include major transformations of residential structures. Well, prior to scanning, we had to use tape measures, laser scanner, but that just measured distances, and we were sketching and sometimes drafting on site.
And we'd probably spend half a day, at least 3/4 of a day, walking through the house, measuring everything by hand. We would try and input what we could on site, but we inevitably would miss something and have to come back several times over a course of a week as we reconstructed the house in the computer.
It was time consuming. There was a lot of chances for error, and oftentimes not everything was captured at the same time, so we would typically have to return to the site multiple times to capture something we hadn't, either in a measurement or in a photograph. So it was a time-consuming and not that accurate of a process.
When we were doing things by hand, we would have to go back to the home several times probably to capture all the information that we needed, which involved coordinating with a homeowner when we could be there. With the digital scanning, we only have to coordinate one visit to the house for several hours by one person. And in that sense, we can capture way more information that we were originally in a shorter amount of time with fewer disruptions to the homeowner and the property owner.
We've been using on-point scans for a number of years now, and the service has been great. It's really helped the beginning stages of our projects get up and running quicker. The interface with Revit, being able to use the point cloud generated by the scans, has been really helpful in developing our as-builts. And then also having the Matterport imaging for the entire structure eliminates some of those returns that we would typically need to do to go back and see a particular condition. So now that we have that record, we can always refer back to it. So it's been very helpful on a number of fronts. In personnel that it would take to do some of the work we did before, we were probably, it was probably double what the cost of the scan would be. And then there's the accuracy thing too, which it's hard to put really a number on. So I think we probably save about half as much in mostly just personnel costs and having the scan done.
Point clouds are awesome. Not only do we get a really great photographic kind of evidence of the entire house, which is kind of amazing, the point cloud allows us to just import it directly into our drafting modeling software. So we're going digital from the very beginning all the way through the project. So we've kind of eliminated the kind of human factor of error when it comes to measuring things by hand. So for us, it's this incredible tool that really ensures that we're getting good input to ensure that we get good output, which has been fantastic.
And then one thing we've enjoyed too is the support from any issues with the files or getting them integrated into Revit and that sort of thing. We've always been able to go back to OnPoint and get help with any kind of software issue we have after we have the scan done. So that's been really great too. Well, I think that there is a cost involved, but when you look at what it takes to replicate that manually, it's very worth it, I think. We've learned that there's many other uses for the scans that we don't typically use as architects, but Contractors have used it for locating rough ends in the walls prior to drywall. And so there's a lot of different things that you can use it for that is really powerful. And whether that's using it internally in our drawings or being able to give it to a client so they know where everything is in the walls. So there's a number of ways to use it, so it makes kind of that initial investment worth it. You know, using the scanning technology is certainly here to stay and definitely beats the old tape measure and notebook that we've all done for years and years. So I think it comes highly recommended. It's a good investment.